I'm Shane Storm, and I throw the 75th best super kick in the business, and you're listening to the best damn podcast ever, Bell to Bell with Bobby Bliss.
Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.
We're going to go to number 3, and that is who, Jeremy?
That is Kevin Sullivan.
Yes. Yes. Walking out that ocean, man. Coming up through their darkness. Kevin Sullivan, scary, scary, scary guy, man.
I do not fear evil, and you are evil. So do what you will with it.
I love Kevin to death, but man, the character, the way he got that over, man, the way he got himself over, man, he's just scary heel, his promos, everything, the eyes, that look, the way he rolled them.
I have called on Esteban, I have called on Habudakin himself, and I even have called on the Dalai Lama, the power that lies in my heart.
You know, we've talked a little bit about him in the past.
Right.
Kevin Sullivan, I realize again, he never said the word Satanism, but everything else he did, everybody around him, the satanic wrestler was the albatross that was on him.
Said I was a devil worshiper. I never used the word devil on any of my interviews, but I implied it. I never used the word devil worshiping because I don't think religion and politics mix in wrestling. I inferred it, implied it, but I used the word Habudakin. Habudakin happens to be a fertility god for the Buddhists because I had spent time in Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong, and I had done some studying on Buddhism, so I took that term. The people inferred that it was the devil.
Every word out of his mouth, you know, he's another one of those guys that he only ran too long in a handful of interviews ever, it would appear.
Yeah.
Everything he said was at least thought out to the point where it was just chilling and off-putting and scary.
The difference between pleasure and pain, and what it is nothing but a thin line.
And for a guy who looked smaller than a lot of people he was around, he was just a tough little badass.
Yes.
You know, I realize that, you know, he's, you know, within an inch of my height. He's not as little as I think he is, but when you look at a ring full of big guys and you see somebody like Kevin Sullivan, you know, he looks smaller. You know, a friend of mine was playing blackjack one time in Reno, and apparently Kurt Hennig was there. And Kurt Hennig on TV against guys like Hulk Hogan looked small. And this buddy of mine, he's like 2 people from shoulder to shoulder and at least 3 foot from front to back. Kurt Hennig is not a small man.
No.
Perfect is a man that's symmetrically built. That means your calves, your arms, and your neck, everything is the same size. Perfect is not a cavity in the mouth, all the hairs in the right places. I got all the right things in all the right places. I think that's what's perfect. No,
Kurt Hennig was one of the biggest, strongest, and natural athletes I ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
He just, when I say natural, I'm not talking about any supplement type stuff. I'm just saying he just naturally, he was just a big, strong guy. I mean, he was a lot bigger than what people thought he was.
Yep. And it's it's the same that happens to Kevin Sullivan. It's, you know, you're in the ring with Hulk Hogan. Well, yeah, the guy's, you know, 6.5 feet tall and 300 pounds. Fucking everybody's going to look small, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But Kevin Sullivan knew how to look big. You know, he knew how to look big and get over, man.
Yeah, the heels when I grew up were like Terry Funk. You were afraid to death of them. If you were walking down a dark alleyway and you saw Terry Funk, the original Sheik, Bruiser Brody, you'd turn around and walk the other way. Now you'd walk right by them and probably push them over and take their wallets.
I think he has one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling ever. And I know he's a very intelligent person about boxing and baseball and everything else too. But his character, you know, that's the thing that made Kevin Sullivan just so believable. That's the thing.
Going to Texas and wrestling.
No. It's a one-fall Texas death match with Ed the Bull Gantner.
Where?
Fort Lauderdale.
I'm wrestling at the Bull Gantner in Fort Lauderdale in a street fight match.
No.
That's
It's
all
a
right.
Texas death match. What's wrong with this?
That's all right. You just come down in a street fight for Bull Gantner. You'll be okay. Can I go with you?
Sure, you can go with me, but we got to go to Fort Lauderdale, wrestle Ed the Bull Gantner, one-fall Texas death match. Tell them what you're going to do.
I'm going to wrestle Ed the Bull Gantner in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale! What's wrong with you? Jeez!
You didn't think about his height. You didn't think about his size, nothing like that. You thought about the evilness and the things he said. And he was one of the people, and sometimes I think people lack this in professional wrestling. Even back in the day, when someone says they're going to do something to you during a promo, they need to go out there and do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary Hart's done it once and for all. He stuck his nose in the Tribal Nation's business. Tribal Nation is up on the top. We're going to the top of the totem pole. But Gary Hart, tell you what, you have that pretty hair. It's going to come plumb off. Bring any team you want. Bring any team you want. Any combination. Gary Hart, we're coming after your scalp.
And Kevin Sullivan usually did that. He went out there and backed up what he said he was going to do. And that's so important for your believability and to knowing where your character is going to go. And so he knew that. He had a sense of direction. Like you said, he didn't waste, no pun intended, he didn't waste a lot of words with his promo.
There has to be a sacrifice made today. And the sacrifice, Blackjack Mulligan, is this. She came to me on her own accord, slapped by me, and touched by the golden palm. You understand, Blackjack, I have a way with everybody. Now it comes to this. Her vanity will be stripped because you shall learn this. Anybody that follows me gives up something.
Absolutely. And again, talking about, working on your character. Kevin Sullivan, I don't know at what point he came up with the idea for the evil, semi-mystical guy that he was going to portray. But once he locked in on that, he went with it.
Yeah.
And he stayed on it, and and he refined it, and he worked. It's a piece of, character development that a lot of these guys, you don't really have a sense of who they are like you did with guys like Jake the Snake Roberts or Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
And these, Kevin Sullivan, once you got a handle on who he was, what he was trying to portray, you realized you were dealing with the Aleister Crowley of professional wrestling.
Dusty comes up with an idea, I'm going to carry a monkey on a leash. Well, the little bastard, every time first of all, he was biting everybody before they put the leash on. He's supposed to be a trained monkey. I realize now he's not trained. The handle is jumping back. He bit the handle. So they give him to me. I get him on the leash. First thing the little bastard does, starts humping my leg. I have to whack him in the head, right? So I'm supposed to be walking down the aisle with the monkey. The monkey jumps off the runway. I go to pull him up, snap. I'm dragging a dead monkey down the aisle. It was deplorable.